Hey everybody, Jake here, and today we're going to take a look at the Kershaw Launch 4. This is my first and only automatic at the moment, so I'll go ahead and go over my initial impressions, what I kind of think about the knife, what I like, what I dislike, what I'm kind of neutral towards, and then compare it to some other knives and give you a conclusion. Alright, first up we'll go ahead and do a size comparison. Let's move that down there. And we'll go ahead and get out the CRKT Pilar. So you can see the Pilar, a little bit longer blade, a little bit longer handle, a little bit wider. It is actually thinner though. Let's see if you can see that there. And that's one of my complaints we'll get back to, but this is a fairly thick knife. Go ahead and bring out what I believe is the most compelling comparison, the Spyderco Dragonfly. So, similarly sized handle. Stop shaking, bro. Similarly sized handle. It's not going to stop it. Little bit longer blade. Little bit wider when it's closed. I'll show you here. But it's significantly thinner. By quite a bit. So you can see there it is a little bit wider. Maybe like 1.5 times as wide. It's not too bad. Victorinox Classic, just for fun, because the Classic kind of replaced where I carry this knife. I'll go over that in just a bit. And give you a little bit better size reference, here's the ZT0450CF. Alright, let's go ahead and go over what I like about it. Alright, so first thing up is the design. The design's very compelling. When it's closed, it's just kind of this coffin-shaped, thing. There's a little bit of blade protrusion, which kind of bothers me, but it's not too bad. There's some angles and things on there you can see. They did quite a few little flats, just to kind of give it a bit more of a unique design. Very intriguing. All aluminum construction. The blade steel is CPM 154, which is a good steel. The aluminum is not too bad. It will get dinged up and stuff over time. That's to be expected. If you're okay with that, perfect. The blade shape is basically the reason I bought this knife, though. I sold my Booz Blades Mini Arrow, which sometimes I regret, sometimes I don't. I wasn't carrying it. But one of the things I liked about that knife is the kind of spear point blade, so I bought this to kind of replace that, because when I do get up here, I can do little precision cuts. So you can do very exact things with this, and that's part of the reason I bought it. You can also puncture it into bags very, very easily with this. It's a great, great knife for punching into. The thing I open the most really is dog and cat food. Punch it and slice. Super easy. It's great for opening letters that way. On boxes, things like that. It's a great little EDC shape. I have found no issues with blade shape, and it's one of the things that compel me to buy this knife probably the most. The weight and size are okay. I actually like the weight and part of the size. So the weight's a little less than 2 ounces. It's, again, aluminum and steel. It's fairly thick, but it doesn't weigh too much down in the pocket. It's nice. You usually don't notice it's there. And the size overall is nice. It's fairly short, fairly compact until you get to the thickness. We'll come back to that. But overall, it's a really, really compelling little size for a knife. Fit and finish are great on this as well. I've handled Kershaw's in the past. The fit and finish has been okay. This is one of their American-made line. You can tell by the flag there. So the fit and finish is going to be a little bit better. There's no sharp edges really, even on the inside. The blade isn't even, sharp on the spine, which is sometimes the case with cheaper knives. Everything's very rounded and very well finished. I like it quite a bit. They did a really, really good job finishing on this knife, and I think that kind of helps digest the price a little bit. Onto the neutral. Speaking of price, it's a little high. The price on these are $75. It's a decent steel. It's an automatic, made in America. I get that. But I think it would be much more compelling around 50, maybe 60. I think 75 is a little high, especially for the size and things like that. And you can get other knives in their launch line that are larger, that use more materials, and they're similarly priced, and that kind of sucks. And when you find these aftermarket, they're going for about $40, so the resale value isn't up there nearly as high as the price that you're going to be paying, because everyone can kind of tell, like, hey, this is a little bit high, guys. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be paying a little bit of a premium for a few things on this, but you know. Next up, thickness. So the most compelling comparison to me is the Spyderco Dragonfly, and you can see the thickness differential is insane. It's extremely noticeable. It weighs more, and it's going to, because, you know, made out of metal versus FRN or whatever the hell this is made out of. It has a few advantages over the Dragonfly, but the Dragonfly just has a lot more going for it, in my opinion. And the little bit of width tax that you pay by keeping this, you know, the Dragonfly over this, really isn't all that much, in my opinion, especially when it comes to thickness. Because when I kept this knife with me a lot, it was in my watch pocket, which is that little secondary pocket on the right hand side of your jeans. That has since been replaced by this, especially because I can carry a normal size knife and that, and it has a little bit more utility. It's significantly thinner, you know, it's a lot lighter, it's just smaller overall. But this is a good knife for that. It's just a little bit thick. I really think they could have cut down the blade stock a tiny bit. They definitely could have cut down the scales. And the thickness, the reason it's not in the dislike, it's in the neutrals, because it gives it a feeling of robustness. It really does. It feels like a bit of a tanky, tiny knife. Kind of like the Pilar. Maybe not quite as big, but it's kind of up there with that. But you are paying for that. You're paying for that with your everyday carry comfortability, and it's a little chunky. I kind of wish they had taken it down. It looks like they just overfed it, and they should have maybe tried to tone it down just a bit. The ergos are helped a little bit by that thickness, but that's about it. It does kind of slope down, so you can kind of sort of get some semblance of a grip. If you can put your thumb far enough back on this, you can get, you know, something like that, but it's not really secure. It doesn't feel good. I usually find myself getting a solid 3-finger grip and then putting my thumb right up here. That does impede on the cutting edge a little bit, but, you know, if you're trying to use the whole cutting part of the knife, there's not really a super comfortable way to hold this. It's okay, the thickness does add some substance there, but that's about it. It's a little difficult to get a really good ergonomic, you know, rock hard grip on this, just because of the shape and things like that. The thickness, again, helps a little bit, but that's about it. The action on this is not great. It's not terrible. It kicks a lot. I'll show you. So the first time I opened this, I held it like this, which is a terrible idea because I never opened this particular knife before. I handled other automatics. But it kicks quite a bit. So hold it with 2 fingers down. I'll kind of show you what I mean. So you can see all the wobble there. So generally when I open this knife, I'm getting a really, really solid grip on it, putting it up against the pad of my hand, and then opening it. And it doesn't move at all. Let's have the little kick, but it's not bad, but you do have to get used to that. But the closing is not pleasant. It's very kind of stick-slip. It's not great. And the button itself, you can see everything's kind of like DLC coated or painted, one of the two. When you're pressing the button, the coating's rubbing up against each other from the scales and the button sides, and it just doesn't feel all that good to open and close, to be honest, which is, let's face it, a big reason why people like me buy knives, because I'm not doing very difficult cutting tasks with them. I'm usually fiddling with them, opening boxes, things like that, and the opening and closing just isn't that good on this thing. On to the dislike. So one of these is really bad, one of them is not so bad. Not so bad one first. It can't be disassembled. that isn't terrible. I guess you can kind of get around it. It's not super complex. You can, probably go in and clean it out fairly easily. But it's kind of a pain. So what you can do, you can remove the pivot screw, you can remove the clip, and you can remove these 2 screws back here, and you'll get a little separation at the back of the scales, but you cannot push this pivot through. You can't force it out. There's no other way to really open this up, and that kind of sucks. I couldn't find any disassembly videos on this or tutorials or anything like that. If you have one, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll check it out. But as far as I can tell, there really isn't an easy way to disassemble this, and that's kind of frustrating because it isn't automatic, and you're going to want to get in there and be able to clean that out so it doesn't get gunked up and things like that. You can always send it back to Kershaw to do that, but it would be nice if I could service this myself. Clip on this thing is trash. The clip is as long as the freaking knife is, and I know some people like that. I understand that. But I think, I hate to keep bringing it back to the Dragonfly, but it's just a better knife in my opinion. The clip is so much shorter on the Dragonfly, it's not even funny. It's literally like half the size. And I like it so much more. It's deep carry, which I love. Leaves a little bit of the knife hanging out. But this thing goes down the entire body of the knife, and not only does it look stupid, it's not great for ergonomics. I've tried several different clip styles on this, and I can't find one that works that well. I would like to find something small and deep carry, and mainly for that clip issue alone, and the thickness, it makes carrying this just a huge pain, because you do have to put it in that watch pocket or kind of let it. I guess you can use this clip, but it's just not that good. Like, the clip's fine because it's the same clip on ZTO 450, literally the exact same clip, but it works on the 0450 because it's a full-size knife. It's fine, and the 0450 is also quite a bit thinner than this is. But this super thick knife with this ridiculous clip, it just doesn't. I don't find carrying it to be enjoyable, and I've literally contemplated selling this before just because it's just a pain to carry. I'll probably keep it because it's the only auto that I own at the moment, but if I get another one, this one's probably going to be going somewhere. Alright, on to the conclusion. Conclusion is, if you're looking for something exactly like this, you want an automatic, you're dead set on that, you want a nice blade shape, you want good build construction, good materials, not too worried about ergos, things like that. If you're dead set on this knife, get it. It's not terrible by any means. If you can try it out first for a day or so, I would do that. If you have a friend who has one or something like that, borrow it from them, see how you like it. If you're not dead set on the auto, you just want something small with a similar-ish blade shape, go with the Dragonfly. It's so much better. In the pocket, it's not really all that different. It's a much better clip. It's much more pleasing to open. The backlock's kind of a pain for me. I'm not a big fan of backlocks, but the ergonomics are really where this one takes it away. It has a finger choil, your hands lock right in there. I can even get a decent 3.5 finger grip on this thing and really lock in, and you have more blade to work with. It's a higher grind, thinner blade stock. It's going to slice better. It's not going to be as durable. Because the blade stock is thinner. The handles are made of a softer, cheaper material. But I would go with this one every day. I actually carry this one. I'd never carry this Kershaw Launch anymore. I got the Dragonfly maybe a week or two after I got the Launch. I think that's about right. It's been a while. Dragonfly immediately took over. I don't carry this anymore. It sits. I've just been holding on to it, waiting to review it, and I finally decided, you know what, it's time to do that, and it's okay. That's about all I can say about it. It's okay. It's, for what it is, it's nice, but I just don't find it to be compelling, and it probably won't be staying in my collection very long. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any feedback or anything like that, leave it down in the comments. Any questions, anything, just let me know. If you're interested in purchasing this knife for me for whatever reason, let me know. Hit me up with an offer and we'll talk. But yeah, it's okay. That's about it. But check out my other videos if you're looking for something else that you might want to carry. It's in similar price range. Again, the Dragonfly, if you're just looking for a fun one to play with, the Real Steel Metamorph is fantastic. I have a review on that one. Go check all that out, and I'll have a review of the Dragonfly coming up soon if you'd like to compare them. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, then hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you loved it. Take a moment to hit the bell icon so you'll get notified of all our new latest uploads.